behind, and it's only 4:16. But we're 5 hours now again back over there.
Yeah, we're
right?
Back now. Yeah. Our clocks went
Is this
forward
the first week?
back. No,
a couple weeks. Oh, second week.
Yeah, they went forward last weekend of March, so it was weekend before last. So we are all good. We're all good.
Nice.
So later evenings, all very nice. And I have to say the show starting earlier was a real kind of rush, so I don't mind it kind of starting this time. Works for me.
Really? You're right. So it's like, it is kind of, it is nice, like when it starts a little later, it gives you more time to get to your seat, right?
Yeah, exactly. Time to get your concessions and make it to the seat in time for the start of the show.
Get your concessions. Everybody listening thinks we're talking about like popcorn or candy. No, Steve and I have like 90% of the time we disagree, but we have concessions. Okay, I won't argue with you on this. Okay, I'll agree with you here. So this is all rehearsed, planned ahead of time. It's like I have to give up. It's like months in advance.
Months in advance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how we agree that Evil Dead Rise is a true classic.
Yep. There's a concession. There you go. I mean, you can't. I mean, there's Bunch of Crunch and Evil Dead Rise is.
Yes. Did you see my tweet on that?
Yes, that is one of my go-tos. I know Junior Mints is one of my go-tos, but Evil Dead Rise. I almost said Evil Dead Rise. Bunch of Crunch. When you tweeted that, I was like, oh my God, that is so good. It's like,
honestly,
and you don't have that over there?
No,
because it's Nestle.
We have the Nestle Crunch bars, so like the normal chocolate bar, but like chocolate in boxes, like you have in the US, like you do.
Yeah, that's movie theater boxes though. That's where it comes from. Exactly. That's what's great for it.
Not a thing here at all. They just don't do it. I don't know why, but they just don't do it. So it's but there are here, and over the last 5-10 years, there's been a proliferation of American candy shops here, or shops that at least sell American candy, and they're everywhere. Yeah. And so and when there was what we'd say a petrol station, you'd say a gas station that opened not that far away from here, about 6 years ago, and for some reason they had a little bit of American candy, and there was a box of Bunch of Crunch, and they had a few of them, and I love Nestle's Crunch, so I'm like, oh, let me try that, and I loved it, and then they promptly sold out and never got them back, and so every single time, now that you can get them on Amazon, but they're crazy expensive. Yeah. It's like $20 for 2 boxes. That's more expensive than AMC.
So $10. Yeah. Oh, not a box that you would eat.
Yeah,
I thought you meant like a box that came with a bunch in it.
No.
A bunch of Crunches.
No, a normal box it's $20.
$10.
2 normal boxes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's more expensive than AMC, as I say, but that's imported from the US.
And what's funny is just slightly.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, we like our home theaters, but we don't like our home theater prices.
Yeah.
So it's so I've been on the lookout for them for years, and every time I go into one of these stores, they've got everything but these damn things. But on Saturday, I went into a store in Bath, which is a Georgian town not that far from here. And there was the American candy shop, and I went in there, and there it was, and I heard the singing of the angels, and I saw they had them there, and I literally grabbed every box they had. But get this though, Deej, I went onto the Walmart website, right, because I was just curious as to how much they cost in the US, right?
Yeah.
And in Walmart, it's like $1.49, something like that per small box. Yeah, in Walmart anyway.
Yeah.
And it was £4 a box here. And so that works out at about $6.50, $7 a box. Yeah. But I bought them all. I got them all. I couldn't not have them. So I bought all 5. They're now sold out, and I'm hoping they're going to get more.
Yeah, that's
love them.
Oh yeah, they're really. I mean, I kept those in the theater. We'll talk when we get in. I want to get that going again here. But we'll talk. I did a little bit of a upgrade to the room again this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, candy is on that agenda. It's like, I had, and it's funny you say that. Like here, they used to be 99 cents. I think they're like $1.10 now. If you go to Walmart, And
Mm.
yeah, I've said it on the show before. It's like it's so fun. You go through the line at Walmart, and I'll have like 20 of each kind, and because I stock up for the theater, and it's like so there's $20 of at the time $20 of Bunch of Crunch, $20 of Junior Mints, $20 of M&Ms, and it's like, and I try to get like 6 or 7. I think I had 6. I forget what the rack was, but I had like, oh, it was like 9. I had 9
Mm.
slots in the rack, and I displayed it and everything, but I'd keep more than that on so I could keep it looking fresh or whatever, right? So, but you go through the line with all of this candy, and they're like, "What do you have, a theater?" Yeah,
Yeah, funny you should say that.
but yeah, I have a theater in my basement, and I'm stocking up, and they go, "Oh," like,
Well,
they
that's
think
all
they're
right.
being funny, and you're like, "No, I do. I got a theater. It's nice. It's a big screen and just seats."
Yeah. Whereas I always feel the need when I do that, because again, I do too. I mean, I go through periods of then restocking, and I, always feel the need. I don't know why you should feel this need, but I do to, say, oh, it's not all for me, as you're
Yeah.
going through the checkout, but no, of course it is.
Yeah,
Well, and
exactly.
others that are visiting, of course.
Yeah, I'm not
Um,
gonna eat it in one sitting.
yeah, yeah, as far as I know, although Avatar is quite long.
Yeah,
But,
we're gonna get to that. Yeah.
oh boy, are we.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but it's very cool to finally get them. But as I said, trying to keep getting them, this steady supply of them is almost impossible over here. But I don't, like I said, I don't get why candy in boxes never took off in UK theaters. I don't know why. It's ubiquitous in the US, isn't it?
Yeah.
But here it's just not a thing, and I genuinely don't know why. If I ever do encounter someone from Nestle, in the wild, I'll ask them. But
Yeah,
of course,
that
my normal supplier of American candy, of course, is one T. Anderson.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at
Mr.
Paul Hertz thing there.
Anderson.
Mr. Yeah, oh yeah, Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. So Paul says I was surprised how much I enjoyed the Hershey's because. So when we met Todd that couple of weeks ago, he couldn't just bring the disc which we asked him to bring, and I asked him for about what was it, 8 or 9. Paul, far more demure than me, asked for 2. But so Todd arrives with these bags, and of course in the bags there's also a load of candy as well. So he brought extra stuff. So it was very cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like I was thinking like I could probably put a box together of all that candy, but what would the weight be to ship that
man,
to
it
you?
will
Where I'm
cost you
paying
more.
$1 a box, and then the shipping, and it's like it would be interesting to see how many I could get in it and what it would cost by weight, and see if it is cheaper. I mean, there's no way it's going to come out to $10 a box.
I'm telling you now, it'd be cheaper for you to box it up and fly over.
Yeah, well, yeah, that we've established. It's that box he sent you.
I mean, that was
a couple years ago, right? That was, and it was. I know the number. It was a few hundred.
Yeah.
But you got quite a bit of candy, though, right?
Oh hell yeah, yeah, it was great. It was
so like with the amount of candy you got more than 20 pieces, right?
Oh,
of
easy.
Candy.
Yeah.
So that would be easily. So you're already right there. You're already under $10 an item. You see what I mean? So it's like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's not factoring in the cost of the candy either.
Yeah, cost of the candy, but also then import duty as well, because then when it comes over, we then have to pay import duty on that. Duty. Yeah. So the import duty is crazy as well. I mean, that's another 20% on top.
Right.
Which is why when you order stuff from Amazon, they actually break it down and show you what the import taxes and all that lot are. It's kind of crazy, but but it is. I swear to you now, if you look up on Amazon in the UK, anyone that wants to know, because I did look again, Bunch of Crunch, 2 normal boxes, $20. It's crazy, which is why when I see them in these places, I buy them, even though you're still talking $5-6 a box, because it's still cheaper than getting it from Amazon. So yeah, crazy. But there we go. Never mind. We've got some now, and I shall look forward to enjoying it. I haven't touched any of it yet. That's the other problem. I'll only want to eat it on special occasions now, because of course it's gold dust.
Yeah. Well. Oh. You want to see something funny? Got this. Speaking of gold dust.
Ooh, Easter egg?
Yeah, a little Easter egg.
Very nice. Very nice.
Someone thought it was saw this online.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say who it was ahead of time. It was Larissa with her sense of humor. Here, I got you a little something for Easter here.
Okay, do I want to know what's inside? Hey, blind guy, if you're tuning in, be glad you didn't see that.
Yeah. I was like, oh, you didn't have to. Yeah, you didn't.
Oh, used to you too, Larissa.
Yeah, it was like I thought I was special. Like the kids here were searching for Easter eggs from the Easter Bunny, and it's like I had my own. Yeah, okay, very nice. I'm like, and then I'm looking at it, going, I gotta show this to Joe because it's 3D printed and everything, so I can see the pattern. I'm like, oh, it's really nice. I'm all like, what did they charge you? Because I know what it costs for the materials. And I'm like, oh, and it was like, I think she said it was like $16.89. I go, I'll bet you his materials were $1.69 or something like that. And so he marked it up, added the zero, and said, I'll sell these online. Like, not bad. I think he just sold one.
Well, yeah, and you can only sell them at Easter, really, as well, can't you? Because it doesn't quite work any other time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, you could actually change the pattern, make it a box, and sell it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and be like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
Anyone just listening to this is going to wonder what you've just shown.
Go to the YouTube channel and you'll see. It was funny. So.
Oh, man.
How
was your Easter weekend, by the way, Deej? We want to quickly touch on that. How was it?
Good. It just it flew by. It's like next thing you know, it's like, it's funny because the Easter is like, we had a busy Easter day, traveling around to the families and everything. And we leave, there's a grocery store down the street. And I'm like, they're closed? I was like, it's one of those weird holidays. Like sometimes, like you'd think it's business as usual, but then at the same, because it's not exactly Christmas, but it's pretty big to the Christian communities.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, so I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I didn't know which way it went. I'm like, I'm not paying attention to that stuff. And so, but yeah, how about you?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was okay. So we had a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So it's 4 days.
Yeah.
Monday
too?
Yeah. Bank holiday on the Monday. So public
okay.
holiday. So Easter Monday. So that everything, I was off. So I was on call for Saturday, Sunday, and it was busy, but not either side, which was great because it meant I could see lots of very good stuff and some very cool stuff to talk about, and one particularly long film, which we managed to do a proper Cinema George premiere of.
That's nice.
Which was great. And I haven't done that for ages.
I did not do that. I did.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we get to it. But actually I'm looking at our lineup of what I know we're going to talk about. And I think we should put this out before we get into the show proper, put it out to the listeners, and maybe we'll mention it a few times. At the end of the show, we should wind up with what the show title should be, because I don't think we have a clear winner here.
Oh, I think we kind of do.
You do? Well, that's the thing, is I don't know which one you think it should be.
It could be two. Yeah,
exactly.
It could be three, I suppose. But
that's my point. You're making my point. It's like, see this. See, that was another concession that Steve had earlier. He was going to make my point for me. So a little peek behind the curtain there.
I reckon it's the 90s one.
I do too, but I could see. I could
There's
see
two very recent ones. It could be as well. Yeah, I get that.
I see. Well, all right. I'm going to take one right off the top that I know it won't be, but I could go with a recent one that you streamed that I have on Kaleidoscape. We could go with the, and that's, I mean, you're actually thinking of two right there. So yeah. We'll put it out to the chat at the end and see which one people think it should be. So, I think there's actually a way I could put it in the chat. So, you want to get to it?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. Let's not end the show. Let's do this the right way.
We are Brightside Theater.
Hey, home theater nerds, welcome to the Bright Side Home Theater Podcast, a multi-award winning giving and receiving home theater podcast. It's all about the experiences, the sights,
the sounds,
The scenes.
Here we go. All right, let's drop that in there. All right.
Smooth grooves this evening, Dave. Nothing but
Smooth, like
grooves.
we've done it before. Here we go. All right.
Right off the bat, by the way, Mike Piantanosi's just saying here, the Mimic was fantastic, by the way. So
Nice.
the HDR black levels were top notch indeed. Good man, Mike. Man off the way on
I
heart.
have lots to say about black levels. Oh, so much good stuff. Now that I'm doing my critical viewing with an OLED, it's it's nice. It's one of those. I mean, I said it years ago. I never wanted an OLED in my house, because I had a projector system, and that's a compromise, right? And it's like, why would I want an OLED in my house if I because you're going to experience that, and then you go to, and it's a notch down. And when I added the Lumagen to my system, I said, oh, screw it, I'm going with an OLED. And I did at the time. I had an OLED in my living room, and it didn't bother me, because then the black levels, it's not as bad because you're not missing anything. The black levels, and I talked about this in the past. I don't need to get into all that before, but yes, I'm not saying the black levels are the same with a Lumagen, but now you're not compromising anything. You're getting all the detail anyways. Now what I've experienced here and the way I'm experiencing it in the sitting closer to and getting everything, I think that's the way I'm going to go. I'll go with this as a viewing room, as my podcast studio, and then have the theater, a theater proper, and be like with the big screen and everything, and no problem at all with that compromise and vice versa. But it is beautiful. And it's like, I find it, and it's and like everything else, right? Like all of your experience, and you can appreciate things differently. And I know what it's like to try and calibrate black levels, and sometimes, and you're like, oh, do you not, like, especially early on, it's like, is this right? Is this not right? What am I doing? And it's like, I mean, when Spears and Munsell came out with their newest Spears and Munsell, people were weary because the first one was, daunting at best, to look at and be like, oh, how do I use this? What do I do? And then their second iteration, a lot more user friendly, but still daunting if you don't know what you're doing. But knowing the trials and tribulations I went through before, and now with an OLED, it'd be like, I mean, it's as simple as, okay, let's pull it up. And if your black bars at the top and bottom are black, okay, now we're at black. Because if you mess with it, if you calibrate it wrong, those are going to be gray. So you got to get that down, but you don't want it so much that it actually makes it easier. And it was like, it's just so much different. Like when I first turned it on, like last week, I told everybody, I'm like, oh, you just throw it into filmmaker mode. It sets everything. It's ISF calibration. It does this. It's part of the TV, blah, blah, blah. And it did. It looked gorgeous. But of course, I can't settle for that. So in the past week, I've calibrated, and it's funny. Larissa was in here once, and she doesn't know this stuff, or she's not as familiar with it as my family is, right? And they're like, yeah, here you go, okay. She goes, it doesn't seem as deep right now. I'm like, because it's not. It's actually calibrated right. Like a scene, the black level isn't as deep. I'm like, but look at the black bars. They're dead on black. She's like, oh, okay. And she walked up. It's like, she's like, I think she thought I ruined it. No.
Or they just don't really care. I mean, I get that all the time as well. I'm like, look at that. And you get yeah, great. Thanks, Steve. Right. Okay. I'm off then. It's kind of, and I understand that they're the majority. We're the minority. We're happy to be the minority, I think.
She actually is pretty fascinated with everything. She is. It's like, I got another friend of mine that he's listened to our show. He listens to, he listens to our show, listens to other shows. And like, he wasn't even listening to mine at the time. And he's like, I just love listening to shows about people that are passionate about what they do. Right. And I'm like, and he'll be talking about like again, like stamp collecting or something. I'm like, you don't collect stamps. And he's like, no, but these guys, they love it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, you should hear my show. And now he does, so it's like same idea, but then it's like people get into it and they're like, oh, what does that mean? And they want to see it in real life. So it's like, come on in, I'll show you. So,
Well, you know, yeah, I mean, most of the time, I have to admit, it's rare, you know, that someone will come
yes,
in genuinely enthused. For me,
yeah,
they come in and go, I get it, looks incredible. And right now, what's for tea? You know, I mean, that's about
right.
it.
I think isn't a lot of that on us too, though, because we're so excited for people to talk to, right?
Mhm.
And maybe I'm not as bad at that now because I have this outlet, right? And we can talk. I can talk to you. I can talk to any listeners, and we talk about it all the time. So now I actually have an outlet. Whereas before, one person would ask, like, "What's that?" And you'd be like, "Their eyes are glazing over because we're just like, alphabet soup for vomit. Like, blah, 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 I gotta tell them, baby. I gotta keep talking before they fall asleep." It's like, and that's where you get the eyes glazing over. So
Yeah, or you get a bit embarrassed by it when someone asks about it,
Yeah.
and then kind of because then you think, oh no, am I just letting the geek flag fly too high now? And they're just looking at you going, are you crazy? You know, so
Yeah.
that's tricky as well because you're in your own home and you're in a space in which you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But you're then thinking, oh, I can't like really tell them all about this. So you find yourself underselling it. I find, oh yeah, it's just
You're trying to play it cool.
Sound fine. Yeah, exactly that.
Just play it
And
cool.
so there's a bit of that too, because again, you don't want to look like a complete dweeb in front of people that you might know.
Yeah.
So it yeah, either way. But yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah.
I think it's very rare someone to come in and go, oh my God, tell me everything.
Oh yeah.
That's not common.
No, but even at that, I think, and I've had people where they're like, "Oh my God, tell me all about this," and be like, it's like saying when somebody says, "Okay, I have an unlimited budget." That's impossible because you don't know how expensive it could get, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, tell me everything. Well, I don't know everything, but how do you want me to sum up the last 35 years of my life? Because all right, once upon a time, my buddy got a job at Radio Shack. It's like, so it's yeah.
But also the other thing is, of course, you can separate the two. So you can separate home theater from movies.
Yeah.
So sometimes, again, I've had this many, many, many times where you're out and people go, you like movies, don't you? Yeah, I do. Okay. And then, you start talking home theater and you realize actually all they really wanted to know was movies. Or when you're telling them about the movies and you go, and do you know what? I loved X movie. And I love that because of the sound was amazing. And you should see the colors on this bit and how this, then they look at you going, I really wanted to know if you thought the film was good or not.
Right.
You find yourself going into kind of home theater mode. And then they're like, what the hell are you talking about? I
Right.
just wanted to know if you laughed at it or not.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, so they wanted the Siskel and Ebert version, right? Not the experience version where, and that's, it's funny because that's what we do here. And it's like, I think when I started, I didn't do any of that. And now with like the show has morphed into, we get into all of it. Like we'll give a little bit of like the story and stuff like that. And we'll say whether we liked it or not. But then it is about like the experience and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Should we say hi to everyone in the chat anyway?
Why don't we hit the chat?
Rocking. Yeah, let's do this. And that'll give you some time to get your ducks in a row.
Considering we got a warning that YouTube isn't going well today or something, but the chat's going very, very well. So
okay, yeah. So Rach, I think, was first in earlier this evening. I think she's still in. Hey, Rach.
Rach.
Steve Atts in the chat. So hey, Steve. Mikey's in. Hey, Mikey.
Mikey.
I think he might now be. He said popping in before my last class of the day. So
yeah,
a late one indeed. Old School Kung Fu Films is in. Hey, buddy. Saying he was looking forward to the Hard Boiled review. I have apologized. I haven't yet watched that.
Yeah.
I've watched lots this week, but haven't got for that. So.
Yeah.
All right. Blame the cool stuff coming out.
Keep looking forward to
for
it.
That. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Should be maybe for next week, possibly. Hey, Dom's in. Bonsoir, Dom. Paul Hertz in, as we know. Hey, Paul. And I did see, Jordan's in. Hi, Jordan. Mike Piantadosi's in, as we already said. Paul F's in. Hey, Paul. Good to see you, buddy.
Paul?
And who else did I see? I saw a couple of others as well. Oh, yeah. Jan Herkstra's in as well. Hey, Jan. How you doing, buddy? Blind Guys in, Deej? leave the egg where it is. Leave the egg
Yeah,
where it is.
exactly.
So
There we
yeah,
go.
okay. Vibe Installs is in saying Fire and Ash. Wasn't that just a cut and paste of the other movies that looked and sounded good? Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's stay tuned in. Stay tuned in, Vibe.
Yeah.
Stay tuned in. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe
I
a little
might
late.
get a bit more. And then we've got, and then yeah, Mike, that's and Yanks North in as well. Not seen you for a bit, buddy. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nike, thanks for joining us once more. Yeah. Oh, and Mikey's back as well. Mikey just says, "Hey guys," so he's
Mike
back.
just dropped back in as we see our
Yeah.
numbers going up here.
There you go. Mikey's brought his friends.
Please bring your friends.
Yeah.
Time
Paul
down.
says maybe I'll watch the 4K hardboil before you review it. That'd be a novelty for me.
Yeah.
Well, it is just sat there, mate. But it's just, as you know, Paul, quite a few things to watch of late.
Yeah.
Thanks to again, Mr. Anderson.
Mr.
So it's
Anderson.
all good, including something he recommended to me as well that I still haven't had a chance to watch, which I really do need to. A horror movie that I'd never heard of until he mentioned it, and it's apparently bananas. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, film called Begonia, if anyone wants to know. But no one tell me if it's any good or not in the chat. Todd said, "Don't watch the trailers, don't read anything about it, just see it." So no one say anything in the chat, please, because I have got it. I bought it in 4K the next day and haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Alrighty.
All right, so there we go.
All
so
right.
yeah, so very cool stuff, Deej. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I just realized I don't have an image for one of the movies I have from.
Okay. All right.
So I'm just searching for it right here.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
this
no
is-
worries.
It's a disc, so I don't really need.
Okay.
Like-
So yeah, and so it's been an interesting week. I had some interesting sort of work that I did this week. I set up a gaming system for someone
Oh.
with a 32-inch curved screen. You and I talked about this a little bit after the show last week. But a 32-inch
Yeah.
curved monitor. And all week long, as I was building up to having to install this, plus all the gaming shenanigans around it, including a massive desk and all this setup and lighting and all this stuff. All the way in the build up to it, I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do with this monitor? How's it going to get calibrated? What am I going to do with this? And it is a monitor, not a TV. It is a monitor.
Oh, okay.
And it's a proper one as well. It was not a cheap one by any means. And I thought, right, what's going to happen to this? How's it going to be? And yet I turned this thing on, connected it to the PS5, which is what's primarily being used with. And I've got to say, Deej, my jaw hit the floor. Now, it's a 4K 32-inch monitor, I know, but in 120 hertz HDR, all the stuff. And for a screen that size, I was absolutely blown away. And of course, because I'm, a home theater specialist and all that stuff, immediately had to go straight to YouTube, 4K videos, all the ones that I know and that I've used loads of times, and just watch this thing. And they come pre-calibrated. And there's an insert in the box. And I didn't know this. So forgive me if everybody else knows this, then apologies. I've just discovered it in the box. So they're pre-calibrated. And in the box, there is a leaflet. And that leaflet has a list of calibrations in there for you to double check that it hasn't changed in transit. So you've got the whole thing there. And honestly, the screen quality is exceptional. Now, it's not meant for movies, really. It's meant for gaming.
Right.
But the stuff I saw still looked absolutely awesome for a monitor out of the box.
Yeah.
Was genuinely a surprise.
Yeah,
really good. And again, small screen for us, but it looked.
It is, but it
amazing.
isn't. 32-inch, and you're sitting that close to it.
Which they are. Yeah,
that's the point. Like what we were talking about with the panel. It's like 32 inches, but you're right up to it. So you're getting that field of view. You're doing your gaming. You can do your whole thing. And it's like, and if you don't have that resolution and you're sitting that close to it, it's actually going to be a strain to your eyes. So I could see that. But yeah, it's is it HDR? Does it have it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 4K HDR.
That's why you've got the wow. It's
great.
In calibration, your color is going to be gorgeous, right? Because you have the wide color gamut, you have the HDR, you have all of that. Where the calibration comes in for that is, are your colors right? You know,
Well,
it's
I
not
mean,
gonna.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that's where
Yeah.
you go. Like, is it supposed to be that particular shade of red, right? Or
Mhm.
how? Not about the vibrancy. Not. I mean, the vibrancy comes with your calibration of your grayscale, like I was talking earlier.
Mhm.
But the actual color itself, it's like that's based on is the white set right? Like, do you have the
Yeah.
right foundation, which is your white, and everything bases off that. If your
Mhm.
white's too cold, too cool, it's going to tint it a certain way. If it's too warm, it's going to tint it. So you got to have that right. But out of the box, you're going to be like, oh my, especially for gaming, it's like, you really don't have to get crazy with the color calibration because it's a game. It's like,
Yeah, well,
what
well,
are you
this is
comparing it to?
which is why I went to YouTube in these videos that I know so well, because I thought I'll get to your comment in 2 seconds, Greg. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I went to these videos that I know that I almost put on every time I get a new display technology or access to one, including the glasses, including any new setup. So I know this particular video very, very well. It's a 4K Costa Rica video in particular, but there's a few others. And again, I was blown away. The detail levels, again, the color, the saturation of it. Again, it just looked absolutely incredible for an out of the box, didn't mess with it at all monitor.
Yeah.
It really did and does look fantastic. So I'm surprised perhaps more general displays don't come like that. It's interesting that a monitor can be pre-calibrated, as in presumably to think, but some more displays aren't that way. I mean, I know about filmmaker mode and again ISF mode and all that, but this just looked particularly good out of the box. Really, really surprised. So yeah, very, very pleased at this thing. And again, curved screen for gaming. Yeah, as we talked about last week after the show, curved screen for gaming. Great. I wouldn't want to watch a movie that way.
Yeah,
but certainly for gaming, absolutely class.
Helps with
very,
the
very
immersion.
cool.
Yeah.
And there's talk. I mean, so Greg says about his OLED monitor kicks booty and the high refresh rate is a lot of fun. And then I see there Paul saying the refresh rate is 120. That's what this monitor is, Paul F. So the refresh rate is key. It is 120, and you can see it. It's absolutely fantastic. Very, very impressed. It's something that I really didn't expect. So I was really worried about, am I now going to want to get this calibrated? But actually, it really does not need it. It's fantastic. So
it's funny too, because like you said, it's like that. Why do TVs need to be calibrated? As we talked about with the panel, I talked about with Jim Doolittle, and you get the history of TVs and how the original monitor TVs came out, and they were all they were fine. But go back to why they need to be calibrated now, and it was marketing, right? It's like everybody wanted their TV to stand out on the showroom floor. Well, it has literally come full circle. It is a marketing campaign to say this is already calibrated, right? It's like, we know TVs have been screwed up for so long. Here you go. We're going to sell you one that's pre-calibrated for you, and we're going to put in a list of instructions in case, like it's mechanical, right? like what went wrong in there? I'm sorry, I bumped your monitor when it was off, and the digital calibration on the inside. What? It's, you know what I mean? It's like, that's more for if you loaned it to a friend and then they brought it back and he changed everything. That's what you've got the list for. But it's not like in shipping. It's like, how? But you know what I mean? Like zero on the calibration should be zero, no matter what. If you bump it in the box, it's not going to, and it turned off, it's not going to change. But that's a marketing tool. And it's the market, us, the customers have become so educated that they hear calibration and they go, oh, saves me a few bucks. I'll buy this one. It's already calibrated. And take it home, and it's for, like you said, it's for gaming. It's like, good enough. There you go. So isn't that pretty cool? It's like they started up screwing them up, and now they're back to, we know everything's screwed up. Ours is right. Okay.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, it was just a nice surprise. Bearing in mind how kind of I was wondering, look, I need this setup, and I don't have any test discs anymore. I haven't had a Spears and Munsell or a Video Essentials disc. I used to have them, but I haven't had one for a very, very long time because I've been relying on calibrations. And part of me was thinking, do you know what? If I've spent all this other money on getting this all set up and looking really good, and it does, and I've trunked in all the cabling, I've used cable ties, it's all done how I would want it, which is obviously very OCD. and I was thinking, well, I might then just get someone in to calibrate this if I have to. I'll do that. I won't get Vincent Tio in. I'm not going to spend that kind of money. I don't need a world expert on it. I just need someone local.
Yeah.
But although having said that, the nearest ISF engineer is about 3 hours away, but that's fine. But he's a bit cheaper. So I didn't need to. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. And again, that's with a really critical eye. I was looking at it thinking, yeah, okay, not bad at all. But anyway, there we go.
Good.
My tweak of the week.
Tweak of the week. My tweak of the week. And it's, we actually have that. I think we still have the sounder for that somewhere here. Wilhelm? Nope, that's not it. Anyways, if I see it, yeah, my tweak of the week is I didn't get permission. It was, we got forced. I put a hole in the wall because on the other side of the, yeah, literally.
Okay.
Not accidentally. So I had the theater rack in here, right? And everything was right there in the corner. And again, it's Larissa's house, listening to the show and stuff. And ever since I put the room in, she's like, you could put that in the closet on the other side. I'm like, no, I'm not putting a hole in you. I'm not doing all that. And then I had to, but to do it, you also had to have line of sight for the remotes and stuff. And I couldn't do that. So I did problem solve that out. I'm operating with Roomy remote now. So everything's over the, it's not IR, it's all over the IP network. So that all works great. And then I just put, a little outlet on both sides, snake it and put everything through. It's just a speaker wire and a HDMI and then the power line. I just popped it right through. So the rack's out there. So it's cooler in here now. I'm not dealing with the heat. Noise floor is dropped. It's quiet other than the dogs. It's great. And it's just more room in here too. It's roomier. It's nicer. So it was like, it's fun. And what's funny is, the other funny part of this is I'm sitting here and I did the Roomy remote. I tried using the folded Circle 3. I tried getting that going, and I'm like, that just turned out to be a pain in the ass. And I don't have that kind of time to really delve into it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, but then I was driving and I remembered Roomy remote. I use that at the house, and I know it's all over network stuff. So and my rack is pretty simplified now. Whereas before, the Roomy remote wouldn't work with the Sony projector because it wasn't hardlined. It wasn't on the network. And it doesn't have, the projector doesn't have Wi-Fi. So you'd have to network it in. And I didn't feel like doing that back then. And so anyways, but I'm like, it should work now. And it does. It works with everything. One button turns on. It's great. Right. But then I go and I look, our buddy Travis, and on his channel, he did the folded Circle, but now he's using the Ava. And I look at why he's using the Ava and how he's using, and I was with him at Cedia, and he knows the guys at Ava and stuff like that. So he was like, oh, look at this. And I'm like, I have one. I just haven't had a chance to use it. Long story short, I'm watching. I haven't even talked to him yet, but he did everything I did in here. He changed out his desk. He moved his rack outside the room. He did all of his stuff. And I was like, man, imagine if we talked to each other. Like, we both did the exact same things. He just didn't ruin a monitor or two. But yeah, it was pretty funny. So he's, and now I'm like, if I could get a full rainy day to myself, I'm probably going to end up getting the Ava working and just be like, because now my system is more simplified than it was before. It's only a few pieces in a monitor, a display. But yeah, it was just pretty funny how like we all kind of do the same things anyways. And him with his desk in the back of his theater and all, it's pretty funny. So,
I'm still using my Logitech Elite, my Harmony Elite, and it's still working, still doing its thing. Touch wood. It can be a little temperamental sometimes.
Yeah.
But 9 times
mine never was, but for me to go back to, I have it. I could just put it in, but mine was rock solid because I had that Niles system. And I had so anything with IR was rock solid. Anything, so that was great. For me to institute that here, it would be a lot of work, a lot of wiring, a lot of running and everything, especially outside the room.
No, I get that.
And this everything over IP is, over the network is awesome. It's just that's rock solid. It's great.
Yeah.
So,
Oh man, nice.
yep. So that was the
All right.
fun
Well,
one.
look. Yeah.
Yes, I
all right.
did hear Sofa Baton is pretty good too. I have heard, especially the latest one. I've seen the stuff. I know Michael's been using it. He thinks it's really good. They're all like, I think the problem now is it's not that anything isn't as good as what the Harmony was. It's that one, Harmony took a long time to get to where it was that good, right? But it was the only game in town, so we dealt with it, and it was very user friendly. Now there's so much competition that it's hard to distinguish which is the best one, because they all kind of do something differently, or they're user friendly, or they're not user friendly, but they're rock solid, but they do this and they do that. And everybody's trying to get to where Harmony was, but when Harmony did it, they were the only one, right? At being that good and user friendly. So we're waiting for that new front runner, and nobody has emerged yet. And instead of anybody emerging, we just get more players.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, quite. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't feel the need yet to change mine. I do quite like mine, and I like how, and I've had to add some bits, and I messed around with it over the years and never had a problem. Even now I know it's obsolete.
But talking with people, I think you'd agree that even you, because I know I would, you're waiting to hear that this is the new Harmony, this is the one, this is it, and you'd be like, wait, what? And you'd go get it. Right? Nobody's been able to say that yet. And it's not that nobody's as good, I think. It's everybody's, there's just so much to compete with. So there's no clear front runner, right?
Quite. And it's got to then be, and it has to then do all the things Logitech did, plus some extra bits, that make that upgrade worthwhile until it breaks. But if it breaks, then of course you can have your toe in.
Like the Ava. I think the Ava might be that. But it's $1,700. Right, for the brain, for everything that it comes with. So that's not Harmony, right? Anything that was in the Harmony price point isn't as good as Harmony. To get as good as Harmony, you're over $1,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's always like, which is it? And that's what made Harmony so sweet. It was like it had everything. So, but
quite. No, well,
all
there we
right.
go. Right, come on now. We have got some serious stuff tonight, Deej.
Yes. Well, let's get to the one thing before we get to our stuff. And we almost did it again. I mean, I think it's on the back wall. I've displayed it. Everybody knows I love Kaleidoscape. Everybody knows I've been following Kaleidoscape forever. But they're huge. Like, to me, it's a huge part of my home theater journey. When it got introduced and now I know the actual date, but it's 25 years ago. So this is their 25th anniversary, which actually happened weeks ago. And we just keep forgetting to mention it. But for me, I can't believe it's been 25 years. And I remember when it first came out, you think it's expensive now. It was ridiculous, literally 10 times the price back then, entry level. But it was just that aspiration, like something to look up to, something to like, oh my God, if I could ever have anything like that. And for the people that are like, oh, it's too expensive, it's crazy, it's like, this is what you want in any hobby you have. You want front runner, you want high-end stuff to aspire to, because that is where, like, literally where Plex came from. That's where, like, Microsoft tried to compete with it. Everybody's trying to do something for anybody in the market to try and duplicate something. That's how you know a product is good. Or anything is good, right? It's like imitation is the, highest form of flattery, right? Everybody's trying to get there. It's like Zapiti did it. Look this is a Zapiti. It's just like a Kaleidoscape, but you got to do this and it's this. And all of these people tried to get to the mountaintop, and then they all keep falling to the side for one reason or another. And go to AV Nirvana. I'll put the link in the show notes. Todd had an awesome write-up about the history of Kaleidoscape, going into their trials and literal trials and tribulations that they went through, and they didn't fall by the wayside. Their passion was there throughout all of it. And I've said that over and over. Before I had a Kaleidoscape, now that I have a Kaleidoscape, it's what they went through. And we talked about, I remember Giles came on the day Zapiti closed. right? The day the Zapedi went under, and everybody's like, what happened? It's like the same thing that happened to them happened to Kaleidoscape years and years ago. Pressure from the studios. You can't be doing this. Zapedi folded. Kaleidoscape didn't. Kaleidoscape said, nope, we're just going to figure this out because there's a market here and this is what we want to do. We think people deserve this and we want to figure out how to do it. And then they did. And it took years in courts and stuff, how to work with the studios. And they did it. Instead of, they could have just folded up and said, nope, okay, bowed to the pressure. And they didn't. And here we are today. And now they're still revamping everything, and it's like people, oh, it's too expensive. Okay, we'll try to come up with something like this, and they come up with it. You know, it's just, I mean, I know it's a high end product, it's expensive, but it's, you know, it's a passion project, believe it or not, for the people there. And I've been saying that since, like I said, before I even knew anybody there, before I met Brett, before I met anybody there. I just, you know, looking on from afar and being like, I gotta have that, or I want that. And you know, it's something to admire when people are that, you know, passionate about it and nothing gets in their way.
DJ, so Brian was just saying, yeah, do you know if Kaleidoscape has any voiceover or text to speech built in the menu? Any idea?
Not that I know of. I don't believe so. I would say what they do have is, I'll put that back up. It's a good question. It's a good question because it's what they do have is they work very closely with a lot of other, like Josh AI, they work very closely with. So a lot of their stuff, any of their voiceover stuff, what like where commands and stuff like that would be with a secondary you know, a secondary source or something like that. And this is just me guessing. If I hit up Andre or something like that right now, it'd probably be like, if we added that in, then it might confuse talk with something else, right? Almost like if you had an A lady and a S lady in the room at the same time and you could get them to talk to each other, and you don't want to do that. So I think they keep it simple. I don't think any of their remotes have like a voice thing on it. And I think they leave that to the outside, meaning like if you had an exterior, like if you have a remote system that has that, it will work with that. Right. So, kind of like that idea. It's like, but, yeah. So that's, I mean, I could look into it, but that's my best guess off the top of my head.
If only we knew people at Kaleidoscape, Deej.
If only, yeah.
Only, man. If
Yeah,
only.
exactly.
If only.
Yeah.
You know, if only we weren't their preferred, you know, panel of choice.
Yeah.
Like I say, really, I mean, far be it from us.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Oh yeah. Andre was more than happy to join that panel.
All righty. Right. Coming in, Deej. Let's experience this.
Let's get to some experiences here. What do you want to? You want to start off with Ninja?
Ninja.
And your Ninja.
Now, did you see my Ninja one for this week?
No, I did not. Your Ninja one for this week is the
red one, red cover. Yeah, white writing.
Yes.
That's it.
Did I drop that in yet?
No. Yeah, I can see it there. I can see it there. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, so I'm going to put that into.
Okay, so we got one Ninja each this week, haven't we?
Yeah, because I don't have that one. I looked into it, and by the time I could get it, where is it in here?
You had it there, man. I saw it.
I know I had it here, but it's not. Where is it now? It says it's in here. It's red.
Yeah, it's red with the white writing.
Yeah,
I saw it, man. You had it there. Did you take it out?
I'll just do it from here. There we go.
There it is.
I'll do yours first.
Nice.
All right, let me blow that up.
Man, this might take a few hours, just so you're aware. I mean, it's fine. You know.
This one?
I love this film. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I wish you told me that ahead of time. I definitely would have sought it out. I thought it was just like on to the next one.
One of my favorites. This one.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've seen this one. But
you got to get this in at some point, Deej.
But exactly, and that's why I wish you had told me that ahead of time. I would have sought it out and made sure to do it. But let's get to it so people aren't just.
Does it come?
Okay, black? Yeah, just wondering what we're doing.
Black. So yeah, I know. Everybody. All right, yeah, come on. Where's trombone?
Okay.
Take it away.
Alrighty. So, ladies and gents, boys and girls, and people of all ages, roll up for the absolute, non-negotiable, inarguable classic that is Shokasugi's Pray for Death. 1985, I do believe, and one of my favorite ninja movies of all time. And the funny thing, Deej, bearing in mind we've seen the canon 3 ninja movies, and then we've done the American Ninja, obviously last week.
Yes.
And yet, so we've recently been watching obviously a few of these. This is essentially, I think, an almost shot-for-shot remake of Revenge of the Ninja.
Okay.
Pretty much is identical.
Yeah.
In as much as you've got Shokasugi, who at the beginning, and that's the little bit you can see there. These are moving menus, by the way. At the beginning, there was an attack on a small temple in Japan, and there's ninjas getting killed by another ninja. And wouldn't you know it, we then cut to America, where there's a guy who's coming to America with his family to leave all that behind him.
Eddie Murphy?
And suddenly, yeah. Yes, he's not coming from Zamunda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The royal backside is clean, Your Highness. Who one of my late mother's favorite movies, that one. Anyway, so so he's in America, and wouldn't you know it, the bad guys suddenly come along, these local gangsters, and they then threaten his family, and bad things happen, and wouldn't you know it, Shokasugi's got to go all ninja and sort it out. Okay, now that should excite everybody in the world. Because God, it's good. And so I've seen this movie many times, but unlike Revenge of the Ninja and Ninja 3 and obviously Enter the Ninja, I've seen this many times recently because this is the Blu-ray. So this is 1080p Blu-ray. And I do believe, if memory serves, this is in PCM stereo, I think. Yeah, it is PCM stereo. And then as I've said before, my receiver then upmixes that to Dolby Surround. Not that you need it.
Yeah.
Because you ain't really getting that in this film. But the movie's great. It is a cheesy ninja classic, albeit you've got a proper villain in this who was a really nasty piece of work. Genuinely someone that you want to see, get his comeuppance. So love this film. As I said, seen it recently, seen it again this last couple of weeks. This was one of the movies that made me then want to then do a ninja season, as well as all the other ones. This is just an excuse to talk about this again. So it's great. Now, what sets this movie out apart from the others, though, is that in this, Shokasugi, when he goes all ninja-y towards the end, and this is something you'll see on the Blu-ray cover, so this is not a spoiler. This was on the poster. And I've got to be careful how I say this. He dons, Shredder, right, from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So he's got that helmet with the visor. It looks a bit Optimus Prime, yeah? Well, this is the movie in which Shokasugi has like a ninja helmet version of that. Where
that was more like a samurai type.
Yeah, it does. But it's got a cool
motif.
Kind of like shuriken built into it and stuff. And it's really cool. And it's something I hadn't seen before until I saw this. And I haven't seen it since either, actually, other than in Shredder. So, it's a great film. It's in as much as any of these films are great films, it's great and is a movie from my childhood, and I love seeing it again. And I'm very pleased to report, bearing in mind again, these things were shot for nothing. I mean, it was literally, again, packet of chips and a chocolate bar, and that was it. And
not even a bunch of crunch, it's cheap chocolate.
No, man, absolutely. Yeah. Not the AAA bunch of crunch. This is just common garden little Hershey's, an out-of-date Hershey's.
Yeah. Michelin 5-star chocolate.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh yeah. And so this, but it looks great. It's 185, fills the screen, looks genuinely, for a movie shot for nothing, really good on Blu-ray. And of course, again, too young to have seen this in theaters, so biggest screen I've seen it on. And it looks as good as you could reasonably expect. It was awesome. And I loved it. I was so pleased. This was a cult movie collection, as it says there. I think it's 88 films. It's dirt cheap as well. It wasn't an expensive Blu-ray either. And yet to then be able to see it in this quality and experience it this way was a genuine treat. And it's honestly, I love it. I love this movie. And anyone else that loves it is automatically cool in my book. Because a certain type of person loves this movie of a certain age, and had an upbringing that I did.
I'm looking at the box cover right now. I just pulled it up on Amazon here, and I can have it tomorrow for $14.99. So I will have it tomorrow for $14.99. I should have
man.
said, but I'm looking at the box cover, and just off of that, like what you were saying about Shredder, I'm like, yep, I've seen this.
Yeah,
I
you're
know
bound to have
just
it.
by looking at that. I know
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
it.
Exactly. Because that's
Yeah.
never, like I said, not been done before and not been done since. Not in a mainstream kind of
Yeah.
movie like that. And it's such a cool thing. I looked online after I saw this most recent version. I looked
Yeah.
online to see if I could get a memorabilia version of that. I thought someone might have one somewhere, but no, you could get
Oh,
a little
the
tiny
helmet?
little version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I'd love a full size version of that. Would be awesome.
Yeah.
But you can't get them. You know, there's a little small version you can get that I think someone
Maybe it could come in like two pieces, and you open it up, and there's a hand inside.
Well, yeah, holding a ninja star.
Oh,
Like
okay. Or that
With a
direct.
ninja-
That's a
and a ninja
that's a
star in
better
it.
that's a better idea. I like that. I like where you're going with that. Yeah.
Just the one star, just one,
the
not two.
Just
Just one, not two.
just one star. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
And to be fair, 1 star is what most of the reviewers gave this when it came out. But
One throwing star
yeah, 1 throwing star.
right between the
But,
eyes.
it's so good. And again, I would have been very surprised if you hadn't seen this, Deej, because it is
Yeah.
exactly of a type. But it's
I don't-
so good.
I don't think there's a ninja movie I haven't seen other than that first one.
Well, yeah, which I hadn't either.
Yeah. And it's like, to this day, my dog, Romy, was supposed to be named Ninja. That's my goal.
Ooh,
And I still
okay.
have that goal. I always wanted a black and white husky, and a boy, black and white husky, name him Ninja. And we went and we went for like to adopt Romy. We didn't know it was Romy. We went to adopt Ninja and fell in love with that little girl in the corner by herself. She was like kind of like the runt of the group, and it was sad because it was like she was sitting there, her ears were down, yeah, and she just sat there in the corner, and like, that's all we have left. It was the only one left of the litter, and she was tiny. She was only a few weeks old at the time, and all the other puppies came running to us, and she just stayed in the corner. And then we picked her up, and we were like, okay. And we had to wait weeks to get her, but I'm like, I can't say no to this. You know,
Well,
she
there was a
gorgeous.
female ninja in Ninja 3, Deej. I mean, there's no reason you couldn't have called her Ninja.
That you just named the reason right there. I'm not.
But
yeah.
I think there's an
But that's
inherent
since I
ninja.
was a kid, I wanted that. Right. I'm like
yeah.
a husky. I love the huskies. I like the history of huskies. I love all that. And then ninja, it's like you just had that. Oh. All right. Anyway,
There is
sidetrack.
an inherent danger in that, though, Deej. Because if you do that, and then if she's given proper training, when you call her, you won't be able to find her. You
Yeah.
won't be able to see it, until it's too late.
Yeah. I yell, ninja hide, and the dog jumps on the ceiling like a cat.
Starts doing those strange kind of hand
Giant
signals.
husky hanging from the ceiling like a turkey in a tree. How the hell did I get up here?
You can't see me.
Yeah, you can't see me. Okay.
Or you're in the park and you shout ninja and cause a panic.
Yeah. Ninja, where?
Drawing guns
Well,
left,
if
right,
they're
and
like
centre.
some of the ninjas in the movies we've seen lately, you can see them quite easily.
Yeah, it'd be the one that's red.
Yeah, a red one trying to hide in a green tree.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh dear. But yeah. So this was so good. I love this. Give it another watch, Deej. As
Oh,
I said,
yeah. Definitely.
it's so cool. And again, anyone that's out there that has any interest in this stuff, if you haven't seen this, give it a go. And if you have, go back and see it again. It's
Yeah.
very, very fun.
Absolutely. Let's
Alrighty.
whoop, wrong button. Boop boop. There we go. Wrong button. How do we get back to this? Yeah, I hit the wrong thing. So let's build off of that. All right. And we're gonna go with, where did mine go? Oh yeah, it's in the other folder. That's why. All right. We're gonna build off of that. And like you said, if it's here we go. It's like, all right. I took in American Ninja 2, The Confrontation. As I told you last week, I was very excited for this right after American Ninja. I couldn't wait to get into American Ninja 2. And Steve, everything you said about Pray for Death, I say the exact opposite for American Ninja 2. Oh my God.
I think I have. Well, I know I've seen this because I recognize that picture. So I have seen this, but I can't remember a thing about it.
Yeah, I saw it and I was like, I know I've seen it. And I saw it and I was like, I forgot it was bad. It's still not as bad as, and it's funny once you get into that how bad it is. It's not as bad as in Ninja 3.
Enter the Ninja.
Enter the Ninja, Enter the Ninja, Ninja or 3. It's like, but once we've come so far, Steve. We've come so far. And American Ninja, it was like, again, take all of this with a grain of salt. Steve and I are saying we love these movies. If you've never taken these movies in and you're listening to us right now and you go to take them in, you're going to be like, I'm never listening to that show again. These guys are idiots. Like, no, there has to be some nostalgia there for you to enjoy these movies, right? They have to be, as we call it, like, time capsule, right? You need that. That didn't save this. The one thing I did realize with this, though, is Jurassic Park is a complete ripoff. It's a complete ripoff of American Ninja 2. Because the basis of this movie is there's an island where they're genetically engineering ninjas.
Spared no expense.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rich guy. In 1987, when this movie came out, the rich guy, he had millions. Today, you'd be like, so? Like, what's that get you? Like, all right, so he's got a nice car? Like, it's like he had millions and he's got an island and it's like, this is where he is, like, basically he's doing like what they did, clones. Like it's the Clone Wars. It's Jurassic Park. They literally, I was like, are you kidding? I forgot. Oh my God. They're touring the facility. I was looking for Jeff Goldblum in the background. Like nobody ever asked why. Like you were too busy
thinking whether you should, not whether you could, whether you should, not whether you should.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, they shouldn't have. They should not have. It's so bad.
What year was the Jurassic Park book? Was the Michael Crichton book?
Michael Crichton, that was in
81. 81.
80s. Yeah, 80s. Yeah. So this is probably a rip-off of that.
I have seen it. Like I said, I've definitely seen it. And our friends, the Red Ninjas, are back, I see.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's in their little dojo area thingy studio. Like, it's bad. It's bad.
Well,
it's bad in it. And let's get to the home theater experience. I wanted to turn it off.
Wow, really?
No, not
what was it on? The Blu-ray.
It's on Blu-ray. It's grainy at times. It's like the other ones, right? It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not Dolby Vision or anything like that, obviously, because it's only Blu-ray. But what I mean by that is on any system, you're going to be like, what the hell? So you have, what's his name? He plays Jackson in this, his partner.
Steve James.
Is that what it is? Steve James? There's one instance where they do that thing where they all attack him at once. Like everybody attacks him at once and he goes down and now it looks like a football huddle, right? So you have all of the bad guys on top of him like this and they have the sound effects over it. So they're throwing punches. They're all throwing punches at him, but you can't even see. And you can hear it on out of your speakers. You hear but it's going to the back of heads of other people, of their own teammates or whatever, right? So it's really, really bad that way, the audio effects. But then he comes up like they do in the movie, like, rah, and all 8 of them go flying. And guess what audio they put with it, Steve?
Well, Wilhelm scream.
No, that I would have liked. Maybe 8 of them, right? Maybe that would have been nice. There you go. No. Bowling pins, Steve. Bowling pins. I was like, I did not need that in Upmix 501 surround. It is DTS Master Audio 2.0, Upmix to Neural X, and bowling pins. I was like, are you in it, like a strike? Like it was awful. I was like, who in the sound design was like, you know what this needs? Bowling. It's hot right now. It's like, what the heck? The only thing worse would have been if he rolled something at him and they all fell down. Oh, and it's a lot. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of stuff like that. And so
yeah,
the audio is just like, and it is. It's one of those where, again, if this was the first one we started with, we probably would have been like, oh, okay. But it's not as bad as the first. It's not as, but it is just, yeah.
No,
So
man.
definitely
Okay.
do. And I know there's an American Ninja 3. There's a 4, I think a 5 even, or something like that. And
Yeah, I'm not sure Dudikoff is in anymore after this.
no, he
one.
is. He's
He is, is he?
Yeah, I saw he was
Okay.
in 5, I believe, maybe even 4. I did see his name in some.
Oh, I
of the
thought he
other-
had a falling out with Cannon or something, and they then
Yeah.
ditched him. I wasn't sure. Okay, I mean, I've seen this one. I've not seen 3 or 4
Yeah.
or 5. And based on that, I don't think I will.
I
Because
don't like
again, that
idea.
won't have nostalgia for me because I won't have seen
Yeah.
it. Just to Jordan wins comment of the day so far: spared ninja expense.
Yeah.
Very nice. I like
Nice.
it. Well done, Jordan.
Very
Well done.
nice.
And Paul mentioned something we've already noticed, Deej. Says Red Ninja
Yes.
seems to be making
Yep.
their comeback in Spider-Man Brand New Day. Well,
Exactly.
we like to think we started a trend.
Yeah, exactly. We're bringing that all back. We're bringing the passion back to Ninja, right?
We're
To the
reclaiming
that-
Ninja.
There's supposed to be
Hell
the
yeah.
unknown, the mysterious dark shadow in the corner. Yeah, well, we're bringing the ninja into the light. So they're being dressed in red. So,
And
you go.
like I said, some movies should not be up next.
yeah, or turned up.
Yeah.
Just push play. Go push play. Don't go. Don't just go. Just go.
Push return.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Oh, well, okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm not surprised. I
Go with American Ninja and
Mhm.
move. I wish I had just done Pray for Death because I was praying for death.
Yeah, you've got to see that. But then, and I said next week is the culmination of our ninja season,
Yes.
where we alight upon a modern classic, in my view. I think I'm the only one who thinks that.
Yeah.
But the modern classic, in my view. So yes, looking forward to talking about that next week.
I think it's time for a ninja revival. Really,
Mhm,
it's like
mhm.
maybe Spider-Man will be the one to bring. But they tried to do it with what we're going to talk about next week. Really,
Well,
I
this is
almost
the
watched
thing,
that
they-
one today, but yeah,
Oh,
looking
it's
forward
so
to that.
good.
I haven't watched it yet because I'm kind of excited for it.
Have
I
you
wanna-
seen it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's not
Oh,
a
yeah.
new watch.
No,
Oh,
no. It's got ninja in it. It's like
Well,
I know
quite.
I've seen it
Well, quite.
because, like you, when it came out, I was like, "Oh, more ninja movies,"
Mm.
So yeah,
But it absolutely bombed at the box office and became a complete flop, and that was the end of that. I mean, in a fairer world, each there are more sequels to the movie we'll talk about next week than there are Fast and the Furious films, but not this world, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
God damn it,
Blind Guy with maybe Beverly Hills Ninja, and it's funny that you say that.
Chris
because-
Farley.
Yeah. Yes, Farley.
Mhm.
It's funny Blind Guy says that because when you first brought up the Ninja Month, I was like, oh, and you go on Kaleidoscape and you just put in the word and I can search all ninja movies, and that one came up and I was like, all right, the word's in there.
I've never
It's
seen
not
it. Never seen it.
No, yeah, it's
No,
a
but
Chris
it's
Farley
not
movie.
it's not the ninja movie that
We're
that we
talking. It's a
loved.
comedy,
the-
right? Yeah.
exactly. And at the
Yeah.
time that came out, that was not. I wasn't ready for that. I'm like, no. Ninja movies are cool. They're inadvertent comedies anyway. So it's just it's all kind
Oh
of
yeah.
fun.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So
All right.
all
So
right.
tune in next week for the culmination of our
Yeah.
ninja season.
let me talk about this briefly before we get this is something I took in last. This will take a few seconds. But it is worth because I like what they did here. I rolled on this last night because of our buddy John Mensor. He texted me. I was out at the time, and he texted me. He's like, check it out. Final Four championship game, UConn versus Michigan basketball was on HBO in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. And I was like, oh, I got to check that out. So when I got home, I was home for the end of the game, the last 15 minutes, which takes about an hour and a half. And it looked gorgeous and it sounded fantastic. And in this room with the seating where it was, and the TV and the viewing angle, it was like you were there. It's like I'm like watching them go down the court. You're moving your head back and forth. It sounded, and I felt like they did the Atmos really well for a game. Like it was properly done, where you heard the announcers and the ball and and the squeaking of everything at the front, but then it had really nice surround sound with the crowd. And the HDR looked really good because you're in a stadium, like, and the dark as it fades off into, like, you're looking up into the upper deck, because it's like you have like the best seats and you're down low and you're looking up into the upper deck like you would in the stadium, and you're like, oh wow, and it fades off. It looked really good. So hopefully we get more stuff like this.
Sporting Atmos could be quite cool. There's the rugby, the Premiership, so it's like the top league rugby teams. Are shown in 4K UHD and in Dolby Atmos, and which is fine until it's a sparsely attended game, and sometimes there are, and you've got your announcers, the commentators, and then you can just hear one person who's obviously sat quite close to the commentators, who's off to the sort of rear left or right, and he's shouting all the way through the match, and you can hear this idiot in these speakers as if you were there. But you can't tell them to shut up because, of course, you're not there.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's what Atmos is not so great, because it's like, oh my God, shut this guy up. I can hear,
Yeah.
And it does feel like he's around there, but there we go.
Exactly. So Steve at in the chat asked a question. Good question too. And I'm sure Paul Hurt can elaborate on it too in the chat if he wants. But he says, how do live shows do Atmos? No one is placing objects via a mix.
It's just an algorithm, isn't it?
It's no, to a degree. And like I said, Paul can either, correct what I'm saying, or because I'm going by an assumption here. But the announcers, they have a microphone, right? So you're going to have that gets ported to where, when you're putting that into the truck to broadcast it. If it's going into an Atmos mix, you're going to say, this is center channel. Right? You're going to have microphones aimed at the floor, and those are going to be center channel. And you could where your cameras are looking. So you could actually move, like, microphones are down one end, down the right end of camera shots and down the left end. So you could actually dictate what microphones are going to what speakers. And then you have crowd noise, and you can tell it to go, these are going to your surrounds, and it can all be dictated in the truck, just like they go to shot 3, go to camera 4, go to camera. They can all manipulate that there, and it just makes it more accurate in your home, as opposed to a 5-1 mix where it goes, okay, this is going to be, because you know what I mean? So it's it's just another way of doing it, but it could all be labeled in the truck. Like the announcers are going to be right here, center. And then you're going to be like, as the camera moves, it can actually do that. So, but like I said, Paul Hurt can elaborate on that. I'm sure.
I had always assumed it was just a mono track that they've just feeding through again the Atmos button. And it's just kind of sending stuff hither and yon to give you a thing. Because, again, it's not like people really care or know enough. I mean, again, it's the 0.1 of the 0.1 of the 0.1%. Yeah. And I just figured they're not going to put, mics everywhere that aren't already there. And they'll just send that to the truck. And then someone's just going, all right, fine, do that. And then there's an algorithm going, oh, well, whatever. Front.
But that is one of the things, and I think Paul and I talked about it on the show too. That's one of the things about Atmos, is that it is so upmixable, and so like you can do it from whatever you're doing in studio, be in a truck or a studio, and you can upmix it from there, or it can play down to the lowest common denominator as well. So that's what makes Atmos so compatible. And like you said, it's like, why would you go to the trouble of an algorithm like that to try, where you could just put one speaker and tell the algorithm or AI or whatever you want to say to, like, okay, take the announcer, pull that out. When you have multiple microphones, just designate what they are. You don't have to have an algorithm. So it makes it that much more simple, and it gives you I think it's given us a better experience here. And it felt like that's what I was getting. So
Yeah, well, it is fun. It is fun, but like I said, when you get an annoying person in the rear channels, it's less fun.
Yes. Well, that's the problem because that whatever channel that is designated for that microphone. And if you have one donkey going, "You suck," you're like, "Oh crap! Can we go to another microphone?"
Yeah, bring them up.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So that is that. All right. What do you got? What do you want to hit on next?
Well, should we touch on the one from last week so I can get
Holy
extremely excited?
Which one was that? Oh, yes.
Yeah, Jimmy C one. Yeah, down the bottom there. Second in from the left. There we go. Let me just get very excited about this for a moment.
Here we go. I know. I didn't realize the time either. Holy caca. All right. Here you go. Nope. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Okay. So this then is Avatar Fire and Ash. And as I mentioned last week when Deej had it on Kaleidoscape, that I was going to pay $13.99, which I thought was very cheap, for the digital stream, not out here on physical for, until May sometime. And I was not about to wait that long. And this was my first watch, having not seen it in theaters. So this is on Apple TV Plus. All the Dolbys, so Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, the full shebang. And this was watched at full tilt, my reference level, a proper premiere done, with all the drinks and popcorn and all that sort of stuff, which is important because, again, it adds to the experience. So now the funny thing is, Deej, so last week we both talked about how we were not quite, weren't really looking forward to it, concerned about the similarities with the other ones. And the impression I got, and I listened to you talking about it, Deej, of course I did. And the impression I got from that is that you were quite lukewarm on what you had seen up until that point, both the HT experience and the movie. That's the impression I got.
Okay.
However, I've gone back and listened to it, and that's not correct. You like the HT experience a lot more than that. So I don't know how that sort of went into my head, but anyway, so I watched this. And it was Friday night. Yeah, I think it was. All in one sitting, 3 hours and 17 minutes, all in one go. And so the movie first. Now, there are definitely echoes and repetitions from the other movies. There's no getting away from that. Yeah. From the final battle to the sequences and the scenes and all that stuff. There is definitely repetition. The movie itself also repeats ad nauseum. Someone gets kidnapped. There's a monologue. They escape, and then they get kidnapped again. And then there's another monologue, and then they escape. And then another person gets kidnapped, and it goes on and on and on. But I enjoyed it. And I did enjoy the movie. Now, colored by the fact that, it was a premiere, and so it was quite a fun evening as well. One. Two, very much enhanced by the HT experience, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I've got to say, I did enjoy the film. Repetition and all, I did enjoy the movie. And I'm looking forward to getting the disc, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again. And the people with whom I sat and saw this also said it is a bit repetitive and it looks like the other movies, and both said, but we were never bored and really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So all good news. So like the film, yeah, really enjoyed it. So the HT experience. Okay. So I asked you last week, is this a reference experience? Now, obviously, I'm only seeing the stream, so I haven't seen the disc yet. And I'm looking forward to that. But from the stream, and bearing in mind that's what I'm reviewing, the answer to the question that I asked you from my perspective, is this reference? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And thrice more, yes. This is and was stunning.
Yeah.
I mean, I from second one, my jaw hit the floor. My God, I don't think I've ever seen so many colors on screen at once. The three-dimensionality of this is off the charts. I'm sorry, and again, sorry, Jordan, forgive me, because I know he's already said he's buying the 3D disc. Yeah, fine. It's obviously different. Everyone pays their money and takes their choice. I cannot fathom, personally, why you'd want the 3D Blu-ray of this when you've got a fully three-dimensional 4K masterclass in how something can look. Yeah. It is fantastic. 185 fills your screen. It's like a window into another world, and it's beautiful all the way through it. This was reference, and it wasn't just, we know I said about earlier, Deej, no one else cares about this stuff. Well, the other people I saw this with did care, because they were going like, wow. And so that's high praise indeed. And it looked great, and it sounded fantastic as well. The guns have got bass. The things swoop all around the room. You've got deep, heavy bass when all these things are rumbling around. There's explosions galore. There are fire tornadoes. Tell me that's not cool. All this stuff. Honestly, this was, and I'm always going to be careful about my superlatives, because I know I keep saying them.
Right.
But this, quote Mr. Scorsese, this is cinema, and it's home cinema, and it felt like a theatrical experience. I love how this looks and sounds. I really like the movie, but I love the home theater experience. And this has got to be in my list this year. It's got to be. I can't, there's no way anything's that is gonna mean that this can't be in my top 10, at least come the end of the year. It just cannot be. I was stunned by it.
Okay. I agree with you. I know. Well, you said you went back and heard me what I said last week. I did not. So I'm trying to think of what I said. I agree with everything you're saying. I feel like I said that last week.
You did.
But the issue is, it's like it's same movie over. So that takes the sting out of it, right? Because it's like, it's like you're watching the same. It's like, okay, yes, it's reference. Why wouldn't it be? The other two were.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would they go back? It's all digitally done. So what are they going to get worse? I don't feel it got better. I don't feel it changed anything. I don't think it's better than the first one. I don't feel like, you know what I mean? I mean, because that's how good the first one was. Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So if that hasn't changed, so when I refer to something as reference, it's something that, like a particular scene in a movie where you'd bring somebody into your room and go, check this out, right? And it's got to be something that you can only see there in that particular scene. And it's like, and that's why it is getting harder for us to pick reference stuff, because that's been done before. That's been done before. That's been done before, like I said, back in the Strange Days was reference back at the time, but now everybody's doing that stuff. So it's not as big of a deal. It's like, what's this? Okay. This is the third movie, and you're like, it's almost identical to the second movie. And you're like, basically what I'm saying is you show this to somebody, you come into my theater, I'm going to put on a demo. The first question after they've been awed is going to be, which one was that?
What is this? Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're not going to mistake it for Ben-Hur, that's for sure. But they will know. I mean, there are 3 of these movies, and if you show this to somebody to impress them, their first question is, which one was that? And that's where I have the hang up, and that's where it kind of, everything you said is dead on. And I'm excited for it. I love it. And I love the experience. It is a home theater experience. This should not be experienced anywhere other than a theater. If you're just watching this on a TV in the living room, you're probably not making it the 3 hours. More blue people walking around, and it's like, they're giant. You don't even know that until they come along somebody that's normal size. So it's just, everything looks referenced. It's like watching NBA players run up and down the court. They're not tall. Then you put a Bob Costas next to him, and you're like, oh, that guy's got funny looking knees. It really, it's hard to impress when you just keep repeating.
Yeah, but and I agree with that story-wise, but there are noticeable improvements in the effects work and the experience that's on display here. I mean, I spent 3 hours and 20 minutes looking at these things. I mean, there are, and again, I love these movies, and I've seen them both in 1 and 2, obviously recently in 4K. And there are definite improvements in this, noticeable improvements, even on the stream compared to the 4K discs of the others. There are noticeable detail improvements. There's lighting improvements. There are
Yeah.
HDR improvements. Now, I appreciate that's geeky, isn't it? But then that's us, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think now I would be able to know on a freeze frame. I'm convinced which movie it was as to whether it's 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
And so I think if if you're that critical with it, and I am, because I'm like that,
Yeah.
then there have been improvements. But as an HT experience making a somewhat derivative movie better, there's no question. And so I agree with you, Deej. This one, if I was watching this on my iPad, I'm not going to be feeling it.
Right.
But in a Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, Dolby, theater, home theater, it played like gangbusters, and it was tremendous. I mean, as I said, if we get many more better than this year, then boy, oh boy, I mean, I think we've been spoiled rotten already, quite frankly.
Yeah.
We could do a top 10 now without too much effort and not be ashamed by any of our choices.
No, but that's how the year
April.
goes, right? And then you get more in and things start dropping out. And we've said it every year we've done this, that you're like, I would have sworn that's in my top 10, and it ends up at like 17.
Yeah.
At the end, you're like, oh my God. It's like, because you start looking at the stuff that goes in front of it. And it's like, there are two comments here that I think are important. And it's like, you got Jordan in the chat saying there are so many groundbreaking effects in this film that numerous VFX artists have been shocked in how some of the effects were accomplished. True. And that's great. But they're groundbreaking, but not, to me, it's not groundbreaking like the original was for 3D, right? That was like, you could be a layman and you're like, that is amazing. This one here, you need to know what you're looking for to see the groundbreaking. So that,
which is fair. Yeah.
It takes it a step back. Blind guy with the comment, it's no different than the 15 Fast and Furious movies. I thought the only good one was the first one, but yet they keep making them, and I don't think Vin Diesel can act. Agreed. Okay. It's like, I'm not going to, exactly. I'm not going to argue that. Just like Steve and I aren't arguing that this isn't entertaining, right? It is. And it's like, if you want more of these movies, absolutely. If you're going to they are home theater juggernauts. Absolutely. But they're not to the point that, like you said, it's like the Fast and Furious movies. It's like, once you've seen the first one, after that, you're like, now they're just getting crazier with the stunts. They're using visual effects instead of actual stunts. They're doing all this stuff. And it takes away from the novelty of it, right? Well, that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking that it's not entertaining. I'm more or less saying that it's just not new. So that takes it knocks it down for me a little bit. That's
which again is completely fair. Whereas my perspective is it's so good looking and sounding, and so much fun in that it elevates what would be a very rote story. I mean, the first one is a cliched story. We've all seen that story before many times, be it Fern Gully or Dances with Wolves. So it's a cliched story in and of itself, and there are definitely repetitive elements in this, but so good is the home theater experience that it takes a mediocre movie and just throws it into a different, forgive the expression, stratosphere. I loved it. The 3 hours and 20 minutes, again, all of us that were in that room said it flew by. Just felt like, it had gone. And, there were people in there who do get bored at films, people that don't always get through a 2-hour movie, let alone a 3 hour and 20 minute film. And all of us were like, that flew by, and wow. Yeah. So it was great. I was blown away, Deej. Absolutely blown away. So there is, I was just very excited by it. And I was very lukewarm last week. I was like, well, okay, fine. But having now seen it, wowzers. So good. And you said, and again, Deej, in fairness to you, said it's a must own, and I completely agree. For home theater, you got to. You owe it to yourself.
Oh yeah, the technology, everything, like you said, it's like, like Jordan said about the technology that goes into it, what they did, what they've accomplished. It's definitely for us, but for me, it's like, if I'm going to be ranking things, it's like, okay, it's like, see that, you got to find something else to impress me now. It's, you know, so
You're Shania Twaining this stuff, are you, Deej?
I would say what?
That don't impress me much.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. Jeez.
I'll see you in the leopard skin jumpsuit, Deej. It's a matter of time.
No, you will not. Oh, all right. We have, what do we want to wind up with? So you want to definitely do this. We'll do this.
Yeah.
And then before that, we'll wind up with this, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, goodness me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
let me bang this out quick because we had a comment in the chat. So we'll throw the comment up. There we go. So comment in the chat at J Van Gool says, "Who will watch Star Wars Mall Shadow Lord? We are getting the Star Wars at Fan Expo Denver." So, that would be me. I watched it. I watched the first 2 episodes. They did. All right, where is it? Can you pull the comment down now? While I was looking for it while we're talking.
Let me just try.
So,
I'll find it.
Yeah, so I did. I watched Darth Maul. First 2 episodes dropped yesterday, I believe, right? I think it was.
If you say so.
Yeah. So I was semi, excited for it. Not crazy, but I was like, all right, Star Wars, so I'll check it out. It started out I don't know what you said before the show, the animation isn't exactly for you. It is a very stylized animation, has a very Blade Runner feel to it. Yeah, it's if you feel like, I mean, in the first 2 episodes, anytime they go to the city, you feel more like you're in the Blade Runner universe than you are in the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
The way it's like the lighting and the neon and stuff like that. It's like I really didn't feel like I was in any Star Wars city that I'd seen before. And that has to do, I think, with the animation style and then the way literally, I was going to say the way it's drawn. So the home theater experience wise, I thought the sound was really good. Decent bass, good blaster fire, nice force bass, and a really nice texture to the bass of like ships taking off and stuff. Like you know what I mean by texture, like that rumble. Ships taking off, hovercrafts or whatever going by. Really nice pans. The picture was really good, but the black level was raised. It was elevated for sure. Okay. So, but I think it's a choice. I think it's the way, the way they want to do it. There was one in episode 2. They went to this one, they jumped to, jump cut to a space scene. And then that one particular jump cut, it was probably on screen for about 10 seconds. The black of space was there. Like the opening to Star Wars, right? So it was like where you could say, and again, on an OLED, like your black level, it was dropped to the black bars, right? But then they went inside the ship and back outside the ship. And now you looked and the space wasn't as dark as it was, slightly elevated to the black bars, right? But the colors are very vibrant, very rich, very saturated. So that's where I'm getting that like, Blade Runner feel. Story is pretty good. It's pretty cool. It's like what they're doing with them. It's more of a, it's almost like the Penguin type thing from HBO.
Yeah, I can see
where it's like, it's more of a organized crime situation going on, which is kind of what goes on in Solo.
Yeah, that's what they were heading towards, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So they do mention Crimson Dawn in this a bunch, and then the other factions. And what he's doing, and then he's looking for, and I won't give it away, but he's also looking for an apprentice. He's looking for so it is pretty cool. It was fun, but in home theater wise, it's definitely pretty decent, especially for Disney Plus. Check it out if you're into Star Wars and stuff like that. It's like Dennis Haysbert plays. I don't know if you know him. He was
he was a president in 24.
Yep, and he was he was like the lead guy in The Unit. I don't know if you knew that show.
I haven't seen it. I know of it.
Yeah, I like him, but his voice as soon as I heard his voice, and he comes on like fairly early on, he plays a Master Jedi character, and his voice, I was like, oh God, all right, instant credibility to the show because I just it's great. So
he's great. Yeah, he's got a very distinctive voice.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So, all right. Quickly, we'll move on from that. But yeah, that was pretty cool. All right. We will get to this one here. Doom. You had it first. I've had it for a while. I've had a choice for this.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you'd saw it a while back.
I didn't see it. I had it. And I just hadn't with everything we've been doing. But yeah, let's get to it.
Okay. So this is Mercy. Apologies for the awful picture, by the way. I had to grab it quickly for reasons. So sorry about that. It's a dreadful photo. And it was an animated menu again. It was moving. So it was driving me crazy. So Mercy. Now, this was on Amazon Prime in 4K UHD, Dolby Atmos as well, which isn't always guaranteed with Prime. And I wanted to see this because I had heard bad things. I had heard not good reviews, people saying it was not a great movie, but I wanted to check it out because I thought, well, it's kind of in my wheelhouse, sort of. And also, it's coming out on disc here on the 20th of April, I think Jordan said. So a couple of weeks' time, it's coming out on disc. So the premise, as it says there, Chris Pratt, it's in some sort of future, alternate universe, whatever you want, future. The world has changed, and we no longer have defense lawyers. And we know.
Well, they do, just not at this level. They deem this a different level.
In terms of it, this particular, yes, quite. So there is a Mercy Court, and the Mercy Court, rather ironically named, is dealing with the most serious of matters. Yes, you have no longer do you have prosecution and defense. You have an AI judge, and the assumption of innocent until proven guilty has changed to guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
And our Chris is given actually, I think he's called Chris in this as well, isn't he? That's kind of like always think a bit on the nose.
I think you're right.
So he is accused of the murder of his wife, and he's got 90 minutes to solve the crime. It's almost in real time, not quite. And so he's in a chair that it will electrocute him if he's found guilty.
Automatic. It's gonna happen unless he proves otherwise.
Within 90 minutes, quite. And so, and on it goes. And I personally think the story is preposterous and ridiculous. And the more it went on, I know that the idea here is that this is a snowball running down a hill. Once it gets going, it's going faster and faster and faster. And the idea then is you've got no time to question the logic. But unfortunately, as a lawyer, immediately opposed to this.
That's all you do.
Quite. I was immediately thinking, well, okay, right, fine. So they're going to give him all this information and only 90 minutes in which to digest it. It was, okay, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, so if you can turn your brain off, and I think you do need to turn your brain off, or at least I certainly tried to, it's a serviceable thriller, and it does race to a conclusion, and it's enjoyable enough if you can distance yourself from it or suspend your disbelief. Now you are aided in that, I have to say, and this is when I texted you as I was kind of just coming to the end of it, if not I just finished it, in a very playful home theater experience. Now the video is razor sharp. It's really detailed, obviously digitally shot, but beautifully sharp throughout. Even when they're using cam footage and drone footage and all this stuff, it's still beautifully sharp. But the audio is the reason to see this, if nothing else. If you just decide this is, it's complete, nonsense and you don't want to see it, if you've got an Atmos rig, then you absolutely, this is the way to see it, because then you don't have to buy it other than your Prime subscription. It's the audio on this is one of the most playful, fun audio experiences I've had in my cinema room in a long time. I mean, you talked each about doing something new with sound. I think this movie has been designed by, I think the movie was written by the sound designer. Because I think he's like, I can do what? How much fun can I have with this? How much sound can I play with? And you are then in this, I mean, you're in a bubble of audio, and there are voices right about 7.1. You say your full Dolby Atmos,
spinning
voices behind you over the front, going, moving all around in real time, different voices in different parts, all moving. This is an Atmos demo, I would say, and from a streamer, can't wait to see what the disc is like. And it's all the way through. Exactly. And it's all the way through. It's non-stop. It's right from the beginning, right to the end. That sense of immersion to quote a certain, founder of ISF. So that level of immersion is fantastic.
Yeah.
And again, elevated what would, in other words, for me, be a very rote thriller that I would probably be mildly irritated by, and at least got me on board because I was having such a great time with the surround. So anyway, Deej, there we go. What did you think?
So yeah, I have it. It's been out on Kaleidoscape for a little while now, and yeah, and I was like, oh, I again didn't have high hopes for it. I'm like, okay, not really sure about the story. I'm not really sure. I hadn't heard much about the movie. And then when I saw you were watching, I'm like, oh, perfect excuse. Let me take this in. And it's you and I already had a discussion about it, and there's a lot to discuss about it. Like you said, we could do a Takeover Tuesday and be happy on this. But yes, I mean the disc is going to be amazing. It is razor sharp. It's 3D like. It is because you have remember when we did Minority Report and the stylized shooting that they did, like the way they shot is very high contrast, hyper contrast even. But it did have that sense of 3D, especially the new 4K HDR. You're like, oh my God, this literally goes to the next level. Because it's not as high, it's not shot in that hyper contrast. It's more realistic, but you have him moving stuff like you do in Minority Report, like move that over here, do this. And that's where the sound comes in, and he could be talking to somebody. It's like, okay. And he doesn't have time. So he's like, enough with you. And they're like, bye-bye. And they go right around to your room around the speakers or something. But the imagery too is also like, it feels like it's right there for you to reach out and touch it a lot of the times. It is, yeah. I would even say to you is even with your brain, even with your mind of being a lawyer, and this is, and like I said, the discussion that you and I had, we can go back and forth. The pacing of this movie allows you to leave your brain at the door because you're just trying to like, is he going to solve this? What is going on here? You don't have time. This movie is just like he's talking his way out of he's trying to save his life. And he is a detective. It's right there. LA Detective has 90 minutes. And I think, and that's the point. It's like, we have a comment in the chat. It's like Jordan saying, I saw Mercy in 3D at the cinema. I thought it was a decent flick when all was said and done. I know it was hated by a certain group of people for being pro AI. And that's what I think is interesting about this movie. You could say it's anti-AI. It's actually, but I could see how both sides would be like, look, AI could be good or it could be bad. It's like, if he's not a cop, you could see why you got to see the movie to understand it. But it's like, there's so much going on here, so much to talk about. And if you try to get into and put it into real world situation, it's crazy. It's as crazy as a lightsaber. Let's put it that way. Light doesn't just stop at the end of the stick. Right. So, but as a home theater experience, I think this is like, a hidden gem. Like I didn't know about this, so. This again, it's going to be on my list somewhere, almost certainly. Yes. Wait
till
you see the disc.
For its innovative use of sound. I mean, this is, I'll tell you what, you could start dusting off the Freddy for sound.
Yeah.
Just in terms of its use of it is a new thing.
And it's highly rewatchable because it's so, the pace of it is so fast. There's stuff going on by the end of the movie. You're going to be like, oh, what happened here? And you watch it again. And it's only 90 minutes. The movie's 90 minutes. It's about a 90-minute story. So it's so high paced. It's so much fun to watch. It's just very entertaining, very, very entertaining. So,
and I agree with that. It was, but only once I had, managed to switch my brain off. Initially, I was mildly irritated.
Yeah. I was too, because I was like, this is like Minority Report. This is like this. But then it's so fast paced, you forget all that because you're trying to get on to the next part of the story. So. Yeah,
it was the mechanics of it that was irritating me initially. And I'm thinking, really? Okay, so how do we, but once it was like, okay, just let it go. In the words of, Princess Anna or whatever it is, let it go. And once I did that, then it was, it was much more fun.
Yeah. So
there we go.
All right. Are you going to have time to do this justice?
Well, let's give it 15 minutes. Do you reckon we can do it in 15?
It's up to you. Okay.
Let's do it.
We both have this on disc. because that's the only place you can get it right now in 4K. So take it away.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the little scene.
Yeah.
No, it's really not. This is the everyone of a certain age has seen this and remembers it fondly.
Yeah.
Dante's Peak on 4K UHD disc and in Dolby Atmos, but also in DTS HD Master Audio, depending on what you choose. And what you choose might make a difference for once.
Not might.
And yeah, quite. And not the way you might think.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so so this was another one of Mr. Anderson's discs that he was very kind enough to bring across for me from the good old US of A. And you know, everyone that was around 97, I think this was, you know, the year of. So we had Volcano and Dante's Peak, and
Yes.
and it's funny how, you know, whenever we have these movies, like you had Bugs Life and Ants, we had Deep Impact and Armageddon, you know, these two coming out in the same year.
Yeah.
And one of them always, you know, it's not always at the time, but one of them always seems to be the one most people fondly remember. So Dante's Peak over Volcano, Bugs Life over Ants, and I would say Armageddon over Deep Impact, although, you know, Deep Impact's got to think about the bright side. So we've got to love Deep Impact for that. So Dante's Peak. So yeah, so you know, Volcano, little town called Dante's Peak. There's a volcano right next to it, and wouldn't you know it, good old Pierce Brosnan's there as a volcanologist, not with the ears, as is pointed out. Someone says, isn't it kind of like Mr. Spock? You know, very funny. I'm sure that took them a long time to write. And then wouldn't you know it, he's there, and Linda Hamilton is our brave mayor stroke coffee shop owner, who wouldn't you know it is going to require some saving from good old Pierce. When
stubborn
the
grandmother.
Yes, indeed, yeah, the whole shebang. So wouldn't you know it erupts and all hell breaks loose. Now, everyone who's anyone already knows that. If not, you know, go see it.
Yeah.
So, okay, picture-wise, now 90s. This is a Universal disc. Sorry, not a Universal disc. Is it Kino Lorber disc? Yeah, Universal movie.
Yeah.
I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. I think it is. I've got it there. I should check, but I can't be bothered. So it's a Kino Lorber disc. And they can be hit and miss sometimes. Sometimes they can be amazing, like with Mimic. Other times they can be a little softer and a little bit kind of for the fans. But once you get past the credits of this, which are blurry and a little bit indistinct because of what's on screen, then by necessity they're blurry. Once you get beyond that and it cuts to modern day, you know, clear as anything, the video is gorgeous. I mean, I was blown away as soon as you see it. Bright as all hell, detailed as anything, colors are gorgeous. It looks a million bucks. It looks absolutely great. As soon as you see the first shot in modern time, you're like, wow, okay, lovely. And I had no issues whatsoever with the video. I thought the video was really good. So now, of course, I selected the Atmos mix as, you know, anyone ordinarily would that's got an Atmos system, and I watched it and I was disappointed. And at the end of it, I was left thinking, well, I wanted more bass. There is immersion, there is surround. It didn't blow my socks off, but and at the end of it, I was left disappointed with the audio, thinking, okay, you know, not the bass I wanted, but some immersion, fair enough. But it really played on my mind, and I think you and I talked about it after the show last week.
Yeah, we did.
Just something's missing, and it was a bit weird. And I'd read a review. Some reviews had said it's AAA, awesome bass, you're gonna love it. But then others saying this was like War of the Worlds, you know, the famous 4K disc that then got released, and people were moaning about the bass and said the Blu-ray was better. And that played on my mind. But then, Deej, you saw it. So do you want to assist with what you discovered?
Sure, absolutely. Picture-wise, I agree 100%. It's like you look at the images we're putting up on YouTube, it's like the backdrop. I mean, the shadow detail that you just get from this, it's like times 10 when you're watching a movie. And it's like, you know, the clouds, you know, the explosions and stuff like that. You're like, oh my God, it looks really good. You're looking at it, and it looks so good, you stop trying to look at it and go, that's fake, because it doesn't even move correctly. But it does. It looks gorgeous. Again, that's the picture is actually very, very good for this movie. The lava, the brights, everything, the darks. I mean, there's a lot of this is very, very dark, this movie. But the HDR clusters, the Cluster's Last Stand. That's the one I was going to say. It's like there's a scene at the beginning talking about the picture where it's the HDR in this. It reminded me of Twister when everybody remember I said like the headlights. And when all other versions we saw before, it didn't look like dusk or anything like that. In this movie, when they step outside and look around, you could see it's what time of day it is. It is very, very well done. The HDR, that is. And there's a scene like later on in the movie, Cluster's Last Stand falls down, but in the early parts of the movie, they look out and you see Cluster's Last Stand sign, neon sign. But the way the town and everything is kind of like that muted color. It's really, really nice. But yes, that getting to the sound, it is. I didn't find at the beginning of it, I was like, oh, I don't think the bass is that bad, right? But my expectations had been lowered by you. And I was like, no, I think this is pretty good. But then as I went on in the movie, I'm getting that Atmos. I'm like, it's enveloping, it's discreet, it's doing all of those things. But it just didn't have that. Or as the movie plays out, you just didn't feel like it had that oomph, that extra for a movie like this that's supposed to be over the top, right? It's supposed to be like a larger than life experience. And it got me to thinking, I'm like, because I saw like you have to choose, between Atmos and it has a DTS 5.1 mix on there. And with the Panasonic 820, I can change and flip right from one to the other. And I was like, wait a minute. My mind starts racing. I start thinking about it. I'm like, we've said this on the show. And I texted you after doing it right away. I was like, and to be fair, what got me thinking, I have to lead with this, is you in our conversation last week had said, I think this is a push button Atmos mix.
Yeah.
Right. And what we mean by that is we've talked about it on the show in the past where Twister was a completely new, like they redid the entire master of the sound.
The
right?
audio
They
stands.
did audio. They put everything to the channels. And we've asked the question in the past, do they actually produce is it possible that they could be producing Atmos on their end, they just upmix it just like our processors do here. So instead of us upmixing a master audio, a 5.1 mix, do they do it on their end, stamp an Atmos track on it so we get to say Atmos, this one's an Atmos at home. This here is the evidence that Steve and I feel. It's like, yep, that's what they're doing. And it didn't work. Because when you upmix the 5.1 mix, you get better overhead experience. You get better. You did. And now Steve and I already had this conversation, and but he was wowed, and I don't want to speak for him, but I know we're short on time, so I'm going to say he was wowed by the bass. And my point in that, right, is DTS typically has larger bass, right, than Dolby. So that didn't wow me. It's definitely there. I agree with him 100%. What wowed me was the upmix processing that we do. I'm doing Neural X through DTS, obviously. The overhead experience in this, because there's obviously the opening scene, and that was disappointing to me. And what got me thinking is the opening scene where pieces are coming from down and they're coming through the ceiling. That I was like, wow, that's weird. They didn't really do much Atmos there. They didn't use the overheads that much there. The upmixing is slightly better there. It is. It's not exactly what I wanted, but the upmixing is better. But later on in the movie, there's some helicopter scenes. There's some other scenes where it's like those rotors are over your head. It is way better. And going back and forth, I felt the DTS upmixed was way more enveloping.
Yeah, and it is the PA system, the speech she gives as well, and the echoing around and people calling out to Linda Hamilton as she's on the. I think that feels much, much better, more roomier, but also more present. Bizarrely, it's kind of a paradox, but yeah, that definitely has more presence than the Atmos mix. Yeah, absolutely. Strange.
It was. It was like it just felt like now. To go in the other direction, I've said this at time about other movies where you go to the Atmos mix, you might say, if you preferred that one, you might say it sounds and feels cleaner. because it's more discreet. But then it's not like, I felt like with the upmixed version, the idea of Atmos is, or any of our systems, is you're not supposed to know where the speakers are, right? It's supposed to be like you're getting sounds from where speakers aren't. And I felt with the DTS mix, it felt like the whole room was being utilized and sounds were, to your point, like the echo was like her voice was moving or echoing from parts that weren't speakers. And I was, as the movie played, I was A-Bing back and forth, and I'd rewind the movie, watch the scene again, and I'd switch the audio codec. And I'm like, and the Atmos was obviously, it was a lower volume. Volume was set the same, but it was rendered lower. There's that, but then it was just like more discreet, and like, okay, well, that's not, if I hadn't A-B'd, I'm sure I would have enjoyed the Atmos much like you did, right? The first time you saw it. But yeah, I would recommend foregoing the Atmos track and upmixing the DTS master audio on this. That's the way, and it was much more enjoyable.
Yeah. And I mean, I do wonder whether some of the reviews that I'd read, because I read 3 reviews, but all from very well-known main, review sites. I won't name them because we're not criticizing them.
No.
But I do wonder whether some of these reviewers were actually watching the upmix track or just watching it in DTS HD 5.1, but talking about the Atmos, because the 2 of them said, oh my God, this is reference audio. Yeah. And then the third one was like, no, it's not good. Like, the Atmos isn't great. And I listened to the 5.1 mix and that's better. Yeah. So and then specifically cited War of the Worlds. So yeah, I and it's interesting, we both had that experience. So I mean, yeah, it's odd, but these things happen. And it's one of the good reasons that we get to come on here and tell people, get the disc, because it's great. And just stick with your 5.1 mix up mixed, and then, and enjoy.
Yeah. And part of that could be too, is your processing. Right. So like, I'm not trying to say, like, I'm not saying I don't have a Trinnov. I don't have a Storm Audio. I don't have anything, but I am, Denon has great processing, but there are other brands that the processing isn't as good, right? So, I mean, you have a Yamaha with great processing, and it's like, try it for yourself. And it's like, and that's the thing. It's like, maybe, in your system, it's the Atmos actually plays better, because maybe your processors could actually be better. And like the Atmos track on a Trinnov upmixed, if you have it, like, I'd be interested to talk to Shane and see what he thinks, because maybe it mixes better that way. I don't know, but I just know how my system is and how I'm experiencing it. And it's like, and that's what makes this fun. You don't just, we do push play, but we know what we know, and you're like, let me try this. And, so but fun movie to do it on too. So.
Yeah. I mean, and as I said, it's definitely. We're not. I don't think either of us are saying don't get the disc.
No, definitely get it. Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Maybe try both tracks and then go with the one you prefer.
Yeah, because the video is worth getting it alone.
Exactly.
Right. 100%. And now you have a fun A/B you can test, because either one is going to be great, I think. To be honest, and I'm not saying the Atmos track is crap. I'm just saying I think the DTS is better. So
noticeably better, not just kind of a, just you had to be there, but
absolutely. All right. I know we both wanted to go on with that one because we did already.
Man, it's all good.
Yeah. Flies by, doesn't it?
2 hours, but just gone. Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, apologies to everyone. I've got an early start tomorrow. There's no AI judges in my local court, unfortunately. So
thank God, you wouldn't have a job.
No, true.
You wouldn't have a job.
Fewer clients, not necessarily a bad thing. With the ones I've had over the weekend.
Yeah. So, all right. That is not a balloon in the background, but
can't remember who it was who said, "I want to get that balloon. I want a bright side balloon."
But you could, if you want a pillow like that, you could go to TeePublic. They have great pillows. Sound absorption. Good shirts. There you go. Yeah. Merch. All right. Steve's got to get to bed. Busy day defending the defenseless.
The indefensible.
Defensible, whatever. But all right. That will do it for this week. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Chat was going strong, really strong today.
Good numbers too.
yeah, real good numbers. Thank you very much. Thank you to the patrons. Thank you to everybody in the 77 countries around. We're up to 77 now. Countries around the world. We're picking up some weird ones now.
Every now and then.
Every now and then. So, but all right. That'll do it for this week. Thank you, everybody. We will be back. Steve and I will be back next week. I'm working on a couple of Takeover Tuesdays. Hopefully I can get one in. But if not, we'll definitely be back next Tuesday, I think. It might actually be a different day next week. I'm not sure yet. Not 100% sure yet. I'll talk to Steve about it. But some stuff came up. But other than that, it's, yeah. All right. That'll do it. Until next time, you know what you got to do.
Go push play. What he said.
That's right.
Hey, Fred. This has been a Hey Fred production with theme music by Jeff Bernhardt and Throne Vault Productions.